Hello,
Yes, sir, you're audible.
hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. I would request this is a self-driven activity conducted from Computer Applications Department with IIC. I would like to request all the faculties and the dignitaries, and including Sabyasachi sir, the speaker. I would want Suswagata to take over the mic and be the moderator for the event. So, Suswagata, can you take over from now on?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So we have gathered once more out here on the special occasion. We will be having some good things. We will be learning new things from our great teacher, from a great teacher today we will be getting. That's Mr. Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay. Hello, sir. I think you're present out here. So at first, I would like to introduce this fact that this is hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah, thank you. At first, I would say that this is a startup builders and innovation, incubation of innovation ideas that has been hosted by or presented by the Department of Computer Applications of Techno India University. So I welcome all of you out here. And I also welcome to the dignitaries of today's session, Mr. Ravi Ranjan, the president of IIC of Techno India University, our speaker for today, Mr. Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay, our honorable HOD sir, Dr. Anil Bikas Chaudhary sir, and our very own sir, Somadeep Das sir. So I welcome all of you, and also Gopal Purokait sir. I think sir is here. So at first, I would like to call on stage Mr. Ravi Ranjan, sir, the president of IIC or Innovation of Institutions Innovation Council. That's a Ministry of HRD initiative, and he's the president of Techno India Universities. So, sir, I would like to say, I would like you to say some words to all of us.
Thanks a lot, Susagata. I would like to take this opportunity first of all to welcome all the students. It's a Monday evening. I'm sure you must have had already a very long day, but you guys are all here. I see a very good turnaround. So you guys have already taken the first step or the first leap towards building your innovative, career. I think you all deserve a huge round of applause, and we are very proud that as part of the Techno India family, all of you are looking forward to learn something new. I would like to also take this opportunity on behalf of Techno India University IIC to congratulate Mr. Gopal Purakit, Dr. Anil Bikas Chaudhary, Somadeep, and everyone else from the organizing team to put up this very interesting show. Finally, I would also like to extend my warm regards to Mr. Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay, who has been kind enough to agree to do this session. A quick word about Mr. Mukhopadhyay. He's a two-time TEDx speaker. He's an entrepreneur, Intel innovator. Previously, he has been running initiatives such as Google Developer, Facebook Developer. He has been quoted in various papers across the world. He's a regular speaker at various events. And interestingly, Professor Mukhopadhyay is also one of the senior faculty at a very unique program, MBA in Entrepreneurship, which is offered by Techno India University. When we talk about entrepreneurship, I think all of you have been looking at the events which we have been organizing under IIC. We're trying to cover all the aspect, right from ideation to creation of a business plan, to look at how feasible your idea is. Today, we are going to talk about startup builders and incubation of innovative ideas. As you understand, when you start a venture, there are various phases. One of the most important phase is the incubation, which is primarily to validate your business idea and to provide you the support so that you can nurture your thoughts and go to the next level. And that's exactly what we're going to do today in today's session. I would request all of you to spend time and be very I would say observant to listen to everything what Professor Mukhopadhyay is going to explain to you. Once again, congratulations to the entire organizing team, and thank you so much to all the students who have joined the event today. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your so kind words. And as all of you know that this is our Techno India University is so much into this entrepreneurship thing, and we love to do this. And so today we have a very eminent speaker with us, that is Mr. Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay. Let me also, I think you got a lot of information about him from Raviranjan sir. And yes, he's a former data scientist. He is a MS from IIScr Kolkata. He's also a faculty member of the senior most of Techno India University. He's a former tech entrepreneur. He was awarded as the top global innovator in 2019. He was a 2-time TEDx speaker. He's also a distinguished speaker in Society for Data Science. And he was also the top, and he's also the top 50 Indian innovator right now. So, sir, I would like to give over to you the mic, sir.
Thank you very much to you for the generous introduction, and I am very much thankful to the IIC of Techno India University for inviting me here. So let us start today's discussion. Now you see that in our society every day we observe some sort of the challenges. Most of us complain, few of us told about chalta hai, chalta rahega, but there are very small amount of the solvers actually, and the path to the entrepreneurship begins basically with that kind of the solvers journey. Okay, that whenever you are visualizing some sort of the problem, what will be your approach to solve that particular problems? So let me share the screen and let us start our discussions. So just a second, let me go to the slideshow. So basically, whenever we were discussing that there are two things comes up whenever we are talking about the ideas, okay, for incubations or for entrepreneurial journey. From the engineering perspective or the technology perspective, we often talk about that either we are going with innovation or we are going with the invention. Okay, so the main question which comes up often in our mind, and which sometimes the youngsters get puzzled, that what is the difference between innovation and invention? So the innovation is something that which was existing earlier. Okay, you are putting something new features to it and you are modifying it, you are giving it a new shape. That is innovation. But invention is something out of box which people never have thought about it. We thought about it and we have implemented it, and that is called invention. So it is quite understandable that innovation means that something X is existing, you are planning or proceeding towards next. Okay, so we can talk about the idea hexagon, and that is where we belong to this particular developing country, where we have a lot of challenges, where we can actually start from X and find out next. So that can be possible with the help of the idea hexagon. Right. So like I was mentioning that in our society, whenever we observe certain problems, we have the tendencies of complaining, chalta hai, chalta rahega kind of thing. Sometimes we ignore, but there are very few number of the solvers, and this solving capacity is the main intuitiveness where you can start your startup journey. And I believe that there are the students who are from the Techno India University and from the other institutes. They have that kind of the potential, because you see that everybody in this world have their intrinsic capacity of innovating within themselves. But it is it requires a proper direction, that in which direction you are planning to shape your career, shape your thought process. Okay, so like I was mentioning, that given X, what is next? That is the resource of starting our innovative thought process. Okay, so for example, let us check this particular figure. If you see, there is basically an idea hexagon. Okay, if you see all the nodes, it is giving you the pathways of how to innovate. Okay, how you can nurture the thought process, and you can spot out the challenges, and you can pick up your pathways of innovation journey. Okay, so ideation is a main thing which you have to be focused on very much. So for example, Like if you see it, if you talk about the Flickr, okay, you all know that Flickr is a very good medium of share photos. Whenever the Flickr was sold, it was sold in $2 million. Okay, but what's next? If you go to the higher dimension than the photo, it becomes the videos, right? So we are talking about the YouTube, for example. It's a great platform of sharing videos. Now, whenever the YouTube was sold, okay, it was sold in multi-billion dollars. So from sharing photos to whenever you are proceeding towards the higher dimension, okay, from photos to videos, you can see the valuation is increasing, right? So for example, if you see next, the first node of the idea hexagon, where we are starting our ideation, if you see that data, text, images, videos, okay, so we are gradually proceeding towards the higher dimensions, right? So for example, stereo glasses, we all know that is a very good for visualizing for the 3D movies. But what's next? What about visualizing our real world 4D worlds? Can we think about something like this kind of stereo glasses? So these are the scenarios where you can put a trust on your thought process and plan of that. If given X, what is next? Because whenever nowadays you see in all the institutes, top institute like even Technical University, all have the incubation opportunities. So whenever you have some startup ideas, you can go there, you can discuss with the mentors. So there are always opportunities, but what kind of problem should you solve? That is mostly challenging thing. To spot out the right problem, addressing in the right way is the main challenging task. So that is the reason your proper thought process plays a very, very vital role there. Now you see, for example, in the second node of the idea hexagon, that is next. Okay, given X, what is next? Now, for example, if two dissimilar things are there, if you are making a fusion of it, for example, like you are making fusion between X and Y, okay? So the more the dissimilar will be the thing, the more will be the better will be the fusion. Especially in the last 2 years in the COVID era, we have seen the necessity of the ambulances. For example, we have seen that there are narrow lanes, especially if you come to the Howrah side, you can see there are a lot of narrow lanes we have seen. And most of the cases we have found that the ambulances are facing problems to penetrate on those narrow lanes, and it becomes very much difficult for carrying the patient. Okay, so what are the ways we can think about it? For example, if we can use the front engine of the auto, we can club it towards the back side of the patient carrier side of the ambulances. So that can be an innovative approach where this hybridized vehicle can easily penetrate those narrow lanes. Can't we think about in that angle? So these are the ways we can spot out the regular problems of our society, and you can make some optimum planning of resolving those kind of the problems. So the more that, like I mentioned, that the more will be the dissimilarity in the things, the more better will be the fusion. So that's the reason this is one of the major way of putting trust on your thought process, that is X plus Y. Okay, where X and Y are two dissimilar things, you can club them together and you can plan of something new which can create impact on billions of lives. Now, definitely, this is one of the area. Hello? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, so your slides are not rolling, that's on.
Okay, just a second. Then what I have to do, I have to just use in this way. Okay, I have to stop this slide sharing, and what I will do, I will individually click on the slides and present in front of you. Because I was clicking enter button, it is showing that it is moving, but in your case, it may happen that you are not being able to visualize that whether it is moving or not. So anyway, so where I was there, that first slide, we talked about going to higher dimension. That was, we started with given X, what is next? We started with the Flickr, which was a great photo sharing platform. So we moved to YouTube. Whenever we move to the higher dimensions, like YouTube, you see, the Flickr was sold in $2 million. YouTube was sold in multi-billion dollars. We have seen with the higher dimensions, the valuation was increasing. Okay, so right from the beginning, if you see the data, text, audio, images, and videos. So every cases, X was existing, you are developing next. Okay, so given X, finding next, it is the first node of the idea hexagon. Then I talked about that we all know that the stereo glasses are great for visualizing the 3D movies. We all have experience on that. So is there something which we can visualize the real 4D worlds? Can we develop something like that? So that is all about going to the higher dimensions. Now we talked about next is the fusion of the two dissimilar things, where I highlighted one of the major problems that ambulance are unable to penetrate those narrow lanes, especially in Howrah region. We have seen this kind of the common problems, especially in the COVID era. We have experienced this kind of the problems are very common. So what can be the solution? For example, the front engine, can we club the front engine of the auto along with the patient carrier side of the ambulances? So if we can club them, then this hybridized vehicle can be able to penetrate those narrow lanes. So can we thought about in that angle? So the more will be the dissimilar kind of the thing, the better will be the idea generations. Okay, and you can take the help of the incubation centers like Techno India University, having a very good incubation center where you can get the guidances from the eminent people like Ravi Ranjan is there. So these are the very much prudent people, very much veteran people to guide your ideas. But the thing is that you have to make something new which can have the mass level impact. Okay, so we have thought we can align our thought process on that angle. Now, for example, this is given a hammer, find all the nails. Okay, so the fourth node is given a nail. For example, given a nail, find all the hammer. So this is a vice versa process. I repeat, in the node 3, given a hammer, find all the nails, and the node 4, given a nail, find all the hammers. So this is a vice versa process. So for example, if we are planning to develop this smartphone-based approach to make a crop prediction, or for example, some smartphone-based devices to detect cancer, okay? So in those cases, what happens that we always start from the capturing the spatial domain information. So for example, we are capturing the live data of some data of the crop, and we are trying to predict it. Or for example, if somebody has skin cancer, we may capture the photo of the skin cancer, and from a mobile phone API based app, we are trying to predict that whether it is a skin cancer or not. So in those cases, what happens that whenever we are dealing the data with the spatial domain, it is a live data, mind you. So there are always chances of the interfering with the stray lights with the original images. So now you see in spatial domain, image and noise means unwanted signal that remains in a convoluted format. So once we do the Fourier pre-processing, so what will happen that once you go to the frequency domain, so they becomes in a multiplicative format. So due to the convolution theorem, once they becomes in a multiplicative format, so it becomes easier for you to remove the noise than they are in a convoluted format. So once your pre-processing step is correct, then if we apply some sort of the classifier, it can be machine learning based approach, it can be deep learning based approach, you will be able to get the proper accuracies, because in data science domain, your pre-processing steps matters a lot. So this kind of the vice versa approach, you may face some problems in spatial domain, you may go to frequency domain. Whenever you are facing some kind of the problems in frequency domain, you can come to the spatial domain with doing the inverse Fourier transform, and you can resolve the issues. So this kind of vice versa approach is necessary for any kind of the technology development kind of things. Okay, this is one of the angle which I talked about. The people who are from the computer science or the physics background, or those kind of relevant backgrounds, they can understand it quite well. That sometimes we may require from spatial domain to go to frequency domain. We may sometimes do the inverse Fourier operation from frequency domain to come to spatial domain and resolve those kind of the challenges. So that's the reason I was mentioning that given a hammer, find all the nails, or given a nail, find all the hammers. So node number 3 and 4 of the idea hexagon plays a very, very vital role in our life. Now you see that now we are gradually proceeding towards the node 5, but remember that not only it's related to technology, you can go to beyond technology and you can make a parallel analogy of that. And you take the help of this kind of idea hexagon. Now you see that in the 5th node, okay, now whenever we are developing something existing thing, okay, I mean developing new thing from those existing thing, so you're often having some common practices. Okay, so we keep on adding some adjectives. Okay, so for example, like you see adaptive, okay, distributed, hierarchical, efficient, okay, or for example democratized. So for example, computing, distributed computing, okay, Fourier transform, another effective method, developed method, fast Fourier transform. Okay, so in this way we always keep on adding some adjectives before those existing methodologies, and we are trying to build up the new things. So this kind of the innovative policies are playing a very, very vital role there. So naming, giving a proper name to your innovation, also an art. Okay, and that kind of the art you have to resolve with this kind of the, you can see in the screen there are a lot of interesting adjectives are moving on, and we have always have come across those things very common whenever we are talking about something new, some new technology, some new developed process. We always add some name: filtering, adaptive filtering, computing, distributed computing, Fourier transform, fast Fourier transform. Okay, so this kind of the approach are very, very common in our era. Okay, so now you see another important step, that is the sixth note of the idea hexagon, that is do exactly opposite. Now this is the what I should say, this is the main resource point of being innovator to inventor. Okay, doing exactly opposite. If you see the X bar, next X bar, that means this is the area where you have to think something out of box, which was not existing earlier. And whenever you are thinking and developing something which was not existing earlier, then you are becoming from innovator to inventor. So that is the joint point. Okay, that is a resource point, and this is very, very vital area, that all those earlier 5 nodes was driving you to become an innovator. But this particular node of the idea hexagon is making you from innovator to inventor. And that is you require to understand. Because you see, incubation centers will be there, mentors will be there, but the idea is yours. Okay. So until or unless you are very much clear from your inner side that, okay, I have to follow this path, or I want to develop these things, okay, then you will not be able to convince others. Okay, because people, whenever you come to some ideas, okay, you come to some prototype, you may develop some prototype and you may come to some expert, but until or unless you are confident from your inner side, you will not be able to convince others, because people will ask you questions. So anybody, you may go with your innovation, inventions, whatever you may call, you may go to that people and say that I have developed it. Okay, I need your guidances. Okay, I need that kind of funding. Okay, so such that I can scale it up for the mass level purpose. So I require help in go-to-market strategy. So that kind of problem will come up. But before that, your thought process should be very, very clear, and to make the brainstorming in a proper way, in a coherent manner. This kind of the idea hexagon plays a very, very vital role to guide you in a proper path and in a proper track. Okay, so that's the reason these 6 nodes of the idea hexagon plays a very, very vital role there. Okay, and nothing to worry about it. I will share it with the organizers such that all of you can get the benefit of this idea hexagon. So given X, what is next? Okay, that is the main thought process which you should develop first. And then next, what comes up once you get this kind of the guidances of the developing, becoming innovator to inventor. Okay, now that is what kind of the problem we should solve. That plays a very, very vital role, because you see there are a lot of challenging problems you may spot out, but what kind of the problem we should you solve? Okay, that should be something meaningful, from which you can start your own startup journey. Okay, where you can incubate yourself in a very good incubator. So in very good incubation center, you can take the support, you can get this seed funding. But what kind of the problem should you solve? So let us focus one by one. So goal is that now we have to, for example, first of all, we can pick up a theme. Okay, basic goal is obviously what is the problem worth solving. Now let us pick up a theme. So it can be digital tech in agriculture. We can pick up the theme. Okay, and in your mind we have some different ideas. Okay, so what I will do, I will pick up this theme, digital tech in agriculture, and I will map it with the healthcare domain. Okay, some problems related to healthcare domain, that we will follow this path, and how we can map this idea with the healthcare domain. Some problems related to healthcare domain. You may plan off your own ideas with your own domain. Okay, for example, you may have some great idea in related to banking sector. You may have something great idea in the blockchain domain or some other domain. You may have something new ideas. So you can try to map this idea. Okay, by following this path, following these pathways which have been shown in those slides. So first of all, we start with the resource map. Okay, under the resource map, we'll discuss about people, organization, user beneficiaries, okay, breakthroughs and risk factors. Then we'll talk about the problem canvas. Okay, then we shall talk about the solution canvas, and finally finding plots. Because you see, the overall journey of the entrepreneurship, any tech-based entrepreneurship, depends on the few parts. First of all, proper philosophy, which should be very much crystal clear about you, that what you want to do. Second comes the help of science. Third, the help of technology. Fourth, the help of the marketing. Okay, and finally, all these things will help you to get the overall success of your entrepreneurial journey. Okay, so with these four pillars you have to touch one by one. So this ideation stage, whether we are talking about the idea management with the idea hexagon, okay, where you are becoming the innovator or inventor, then you are gradually coming towards the what kind of the problem you should solve with the help of this kind of the resource map, following the path from the resource map, problem canvas, solution canvas to finding plots. Then gradually what will happen that you will pick up some theme, okay, you will gradually do your own research, okay, it can be where you will require the help of the science and technology, and once your prototype is developed, then you will require the help of the market research, okay, that what are the possibilities of scaling your products, okay, how to make the go-to-market strategy, and all those things will come up gradually. So first start with the resource map, okay. So under the resource map, these things we are going to discuss. So first of all, under the organizational list, okay. So here you see that, for example, you have to figure out that what are the data sets and information resources. So for example, we may plan up, for example, if your problem is, you want to provide some solutions related to the crop prediction kind of thing. So you have to make a training data set. Okay, so where can you get those data sets? So either there are two ways of data collection. Either you can be yourself, you can deploy yourself for the data collection, or you can have your own team, which is the primary data resources, or you can download the data from this some secondary resources. So that can be, for example, nowadays all of you are quite aware of the Kaggle. Okay, you can download data from there, you can download data from GitHub, you can download data from the other online resources, okay, which are very much useful in downloading those data sets. Okay, so I saw the one student is raising the hand. Okay, so I will take the question at the end. Don't worry, I will take everybody's question at the end. So nothing to worry about it. So we will collect the data set from those resources. Okay, then for example, you have to figure out that who can be your possible partners. Now, like I told you, that we will try to map the same problem like we have figured out for the agricultural domain. So we'll try to map the same problem for the healthcare domain. You may find out for the same thing for your domain. This is called the brainstorming. Okay, so you may try out, if you have some idea, you can try out to make an analogy for your own domain. Like, for example, if you are planning in healthcare domain, then how will you collect the data sets? So for example, if you really want to build some product, okay, then you can do some initial testing of your approach by downloading online data sets and all those things. Those are the secondary resources. But for yourself, for example, you are planning to develop something related to the smartphone breast cancer detection app, for example, I'm saying. So what you have to do, you have to tie up with hospitals. Now you see that whenever you will approach to hospitals, so what will they say? They will basically give you to sign the IRB protocols, because you have to convince the doctors that whatever the tools and methodologies you will use, that should not be harmful to human body. So you will sign the IRB protocols. Then you have to take the consent from the patient while collecting their data sets, because you can't reveal the information of the patient to public. So once that those kind of the hurdles you can overcome, then you can gradually start to collect data collection. Okay, you may have your own team, you may have some volunteers who can go there, they can participate in those trials. Now you see this influential area, you can see, like we were making analogy with the healthcare domain, with the approach. You see the influential, for example, the United States, there are multi-billionaire doctors. Okay, they basically sometimes play a very good role of the influentials in terms of the healthcare startups. So they provide the seed funding, okay, to make the innovators, okay, encourage them and make the innovators to provide some solutions which can play a very, very catalyst role in the medical domain. So for example, if you're developing the AI-based solutions for the cancer detection purpose or this kind of that, so it will not definitely replace the doctors, because you see, nobody knows human body better than the doctors. Okay, they are studying 5 years for the MBBS and all those things. But you see, this kind of the apps will play the role of catalyst, okay, which will assist doctors to make the fast diagnosis, and obviously it will be very good for the low-cost affordable healthcare domain. Okay, it will create an impact on low-cost affordable healthcare domain. Now you see the VCs, these are the venture capitalists. So whenever you are basically starts your journey. So for example, you can approach to any incubation center. Okay, so they will give you the seed funding. Okay, so this seed funding in Indian currency on an average, it is ranging from 25 lakh to 50 lakh. These are the seed funding. Now you see this VCs basically, once your prototype gets the success, now you want to expand your own company in a large extent. So for example, there will be a lock period of 3 years. So this incubation center will take some stake as well. So now gradually what will happen, for example, your company valuation at the initial level is of 1 lakh. Okay, you have two partners, founder and co-founder, 50-50 partnership. So all of you are starting from 50K, and your valuation, initial valuation, 1 lakh. Now, gradually, what will happen that once your prototype gets success and you want to launch the product in a large extent, so you have to take the help of the others as well. For example, then this VCs, venture capitalist, will fund in crore, generally in Indian currency, 5 crore to 10 crore range. It varies, but on an average, I'm giving you some average figure. So they will also take some stake. So what will happen at the end of the day, a lot of people will come up into the picture. There will be some mentors. So mentorship charges are there from 1% to 3%. They will take the stake. So it can be technology mentor. It can be the mentor who will guide you in your overall business process. So there a lot of people will gradually start to come up. Okay. So what will happen that at the end of the day, for any successful startup, okay, for example, whenever you're starting from the beginning and up to 5 years of journey on an average year, if I am picking up the 5 years lock period, when you can't take exit, your co-founder will not be able to take exit until or unless you are giving the exit to your investors. Okay, so this 5 years lock period of time, if you have a successful startup journey, that you and your co-founder will have the less than 10%, okay, less than 10% at the end of the startup journey. So for example, if you have from the previous successful startup history, I am picking up the figure. If you have this successful startup and you are now planning to take exit and you are planning to give the exit of all of your investors, so it will have the figure on an average 80 crore. Okay. Now, if you have the less than 10%, so that means you and your co-founder now have the less than 8 crore. So for example, for the sake of our easier calculation, we are considering that figure 7 crore. Okay, you and your co-founder altogether have this 7 crore. Now, if you are 50-50 partner, then what will happen? Each of you, how much money will left for each of you after 5 years of journey? 3.5 crore, 3.5 crore. So that means you started with 50K of each of you. Now you are landing up with 3.5 crore, 3.5 crore after 5 years. Okay, and your company valuation, which started with 1 lakh, after successful 5 years journey, it is now 80 crore. So can you imagine the valuation you are being able to generate? Okay, so this is on an average the overall journey of overall startup journey, which I am just telling you. Okay, so anyway, going back to our discussion, so you can also find out some of the known published challenges as well. There is, if we are looking for solving something new, something challenging, which have the mass level impact. Now you see, the United Nations challenges are there. Bill Gates Foundation provides also interesting challenges. National Science Foundations, or even in our India, DBT or DST, having a lot of every year they provide some fresh challenges. So you can address those challenges, and you can get some government grant as well. Now, in case of the grant, if you success or fail, in those cases you don't have the risk factors. Okay, but government grants are quite encouraging. If you can get them, that is also a very good boost for your startup journey as well. Now you see the user and beneficiaries angle. So basically, graph of the user and use cases. You have to understand that who will be the users of your product, which you are planning of. So for example, in agricultural domain, if you are developing something, who are going to use it? So mainly the farmers and other people who are associated with farming. Okay, for example, if you are developing something related to crop predictions and some other things, okay, or for example, that in those cases, who are going to be the influencers? You have to spot out who will be the partners. You have to spot out where do we need research. That is a very, very important area, because you see that there are a lot of existing technologies. Okay, because in the last 10 years, we have seen, due to the government of India's encouragement, we have seen that a lot of people are nowadays getting interested in entrepreneurship. Okay, and we have seen some of the very good successful startups in Indian scenario. So already the competitors are there in the market. So what are the new things you are bringing down such that people will be able to attract it on your product? Or what will be your market penetration policy? If there are so many players in the market, will be your policy? So that research, it will be in many, many directions. It can be related to market. It can be related to your technology. So many ways you can do the research. Okay. And in those areas, the mentors play a very, very vital role to guide you. Okay. So you have to understand that there are many ways where you have to be very, very careful enough. Because you see, you are on a roller coaster ride, so you have to be very, very careful enough that in which way you can be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. Now you see, definitely speaking with experts, I am not mentioning it separately, already I have highlighted. Now, if we are mapping the same thing with the healthcare domain, for example, we are taking the example of the agriculture, we are mapping it with the healthcare domain. So in case you can also map your own domain, the same problem. So once you are mapping in the healthcare domain, then what will be the factors you are thinking of? So for example, who will be the users? For example, if you're developing the AI-based smartphone-based solutions for the cancer detection purpose, obviously the doctors, obviously it will be the hospitals, it will be the nursing homes, they are going to use it, right? Patients will use it. Now, in those cases, influencers I already highlighted you can see many more examples if you talk about any startups in United States who are in the medical domain who got the success. That in those cases, most of the cases, doctors played a very, very vital role of the influencers, because there are a lot of multiplayer doctors and they have their own medical team. They basically provide a lot of fund in terms of the medical related technologies. Okay, and they basically also play a very, very vital role. For example, if you're developing some app-based solution, so you know that before launching the app in the market, there are alpha testing phase and beta testing phase. So in the alpha testing phase, the company people, there will be a core group of company people who will basically make the validations. Once your validation pass from the alpha testing phase, then in the beta testing phase, there will be some people from the outside of your company. They basically play the volunteer role. They will provide their feedback to your app. And then finally, once your beta testing phase also gets success, then you will be able to launch the app. In a similar manner, in the healthcare domain, the doctor's word is the final word. Okay, so if they are saying that this app is going to be launched, then it will be launched, otherwise not. So there will be core medical team will be there. They will basically validate the overall performances of the app. And finally, once they recommend it, then it will go for the beta testing phase and finally it will be launched. But remember that even if your app is detecting providing the correct diagnosis, for example, it is saying that that particular patient may not have cancer, kind of thing. But if doctor feels that that person should do biopsy, then you have to allow him. Because you see, like I told you, that nobody understands the human body better than the doctors. Okay, in healthcare domain I'm talking about. Because all the solutions what you are providing in those domains, they are basically playing the role of catalyst. Okay, that's it, nothing else. So it may happen that there can be some hidden symptoms which you are growing in that particular human cell or human tissue. So doctors can only understand that. So he may suggest them for the biopsy as well. So there may be the cases, okay, where you have to understand that in each domain, whenever you are proceeding, okay, user, beneficiaries, you have to understand very, very well. So graph of user and use cases will be your influencers, buyers and sponsors, partners, potential partners, which will play a very important catalyst role in terms of growth of your startup journey. Why do you need to do the research? Speaking with the experts, these are going to play a very, very significant role. Then definitely the breakthroughs, benefits, and risk factors. So in the breakthroughs, if you are getting success, is fine. But you have to understand what are the frictions. Okay, so frictions can be related to some of the regulation biases. Those things are there. Rules, regulation, you have to understand. Like I am saying, one of the most important example you see. Like I see a lot of engineering students, students from the computer application background. Okay, another domain I have seen that there is very common tendency of the students that to come up with something interesting with drones. Okay, they are very passionate about drones. But unfortunately, you see that you have to understand the rules regulation related to the drones. Okay, because you see there are country-wise, state-wise, even some local region-wise rules regulation varies, and you have to abide by those rules. Okay, so in those cases, okay, so I am requesting kindly ask me the question at the end. Okay, I will answer everybody's question. Nothing to worry about it. So let me finish my presentation. I will definitely answer everybody's question. So do not worry. I will answer everybody's question. So in those cases, you see, we often see some sort of the challenges. Okay, so that's the reason you have to understand that whenever you are planning of something, some technological solutions, you have to see that what are the rules, regulations are there. You should not violate it. And definitely one of the important things that which you have to keep it in your mind, that the parallelic approach, like in the technology domain nowadays, you can see that there are two parallel approaches are coming up. Okay, one you can see the cloud-based approach, another one you can see the edge-based approach. Okay, so for example, you are nowadays, you can see whenever you are coming up with some smartphone-based solutions. So what happens that we often see that whenever you are deploying it, it's storing data in cloud, you are deploying cloud analytics. So continuous sending data into the cloud is creating the congestion in cloud. Okay, and we can see some latencies in the cloud whenever you want to get some real-time outcome. For example, you are developing something in case of the financial domain for the fraud detection purpose. Okay, now in those cases, delay or latency will create the problem. In healthcare domain, latency may create some problems. So these are the case sensitive areas where the latency create problem. So in those cases, you see that we often see two kind of the approach, parallelic approach. One is the cloud-based approach, another one is the edge-based solution. So what will happen that some portion of the data which are very much some portion of the data, some complicated processing will be done in cloud. Okay, where you have the higher processor power. And the lightweight devices like smartphone will be used for the edge computing purpose. Okay, so very smaller amount of the computation for the early diagnosis purpose, or maybe your fraud detection purpose can be done with the help of your smartphone-based approach. So these are the edge-based approach. So whenever you are coming up this kind of the solutions where your real-time prediction plays a very, very vital role. It can be the financial sector, like the fraud detection in the banking sector, or even in case of the healthcare domain. These are the very, very case-sensitive area where you require a real-time outcome. So in real-time outcome, the tech-based solution should provide this kind of the parallel tech approach. Okay, one is a cloud-based approach, another one is your smartphone-based approach, edge-based approach. So these are the tricks you have to understand. You can see that nowadays those technologies which are giving you the real-time solution, they are all coming up with the parallel tech approach. So these are the very nitty-gritty thing which you require to understand. That, like I told you, that if your philosophy is clear, once the picture is clear in front of you, then gradually it will be very much easier for you to provide this kind of the optimum solution. Okay, and the execution risks, limiting factors like the time factor, lack of existing infrastructure factor, these problems are also there. So whenever you are coming up with certain ideas, you have to understand these limitations first, and you have to check that how much support you can get from your institutes, in incubation centers, or whether you can make some collaborations where your lack of infrastructure support can be overcome or not. So this kind of approach you may check out. Okay, financial risk factors are always there in the startup journey. So that's the reason people often try to get some seed funding. Okay, they may invest their own money as well. Sometimes we have seen that, but it will also government grants also play a very, very vital role there. So you have to see that which approach is best suited for you, and that's the reason, as I always say, that being incubating is one of the great approach which you can think about it. Okay. Now, in the next part, that is a problem canvas. You can see this is like this problem canvas has been developed in the angle of the digital tech in agriculture. Okay, the techniques, for example, sensors, AI, crowdsourcing are there, and the problem angles, if you see the greenhouses, crop predictions, farmer finances, weather stations. Okay, so this problem canvas has been made on the basis of the digital tech in agriculture. Now you plan a map this particular problem canvas for your own solution. Think of it. Make the brainstorming. For example, I am giving one idea in the healthcare sector. For example, what can be the problem if you are developing the smartphone-based AI-based solution for the cancer detection purpose? What will be the problem canvas? Now, what is the standard practice in case of the healthcare domain? For example, if you are talking about biopsy, what is the shortcomings of biopsy? Well, it has an average accuracy level is 65 to 70%. For example, it takes 2 weeks time to come up with the report. Quite costly, painful. So these are the problems you may highlight. Now, whenever you go from the problem canvas to the solution canvas, this is the solution canvas. Okay. Now you see what are the factors you can observe. It has been made on the basis of the digital tech in agriculture domain, like cost, time, impact is given there. Scenarios have been highlighted like greenhouses sensors, greenhouses AI, greenhouses crowd steering, crop prediction sensors, crop prediction AI. Okay, these angles have been highlighted here. Now, if you are mapping the same thing in case of the healthcare domain, you can plan off your own domain, try to map it. For example, if I try to provide the solution, like we have come up with some solutions with a smartphone-based cancer detection purpose, then what are the benefits it can provide? For example, with the help of the AI-based algorithm, you can get the higher accuracy, 90 to 95% on an average. You can generate the report within few minutes, where biopsy takes 2 weeks of time. You can, it will be quite cheaper than the thousands times cheaper than the biopsy. If you charge per scan from your smartphone, rupees 10 to 100, till it will be the thousands times cheaper than the biopsy. So these are the solutions you are providing. Also, it is a pain-free. So this will be a solution canvas, and cost and time and impact will be there, because you see, whenever you are getting some grant or getting some seed funding, nobody will give you the whole funding together. Okay, the funding will be given certain interval. For example, they are giving you the fund and they want to check out your progress for next 6 months. So cost, provided time, and what are the impactful progress you are being able to make. First 6 months, once you have utilized that grant or fund of the first 6 months, okay, next fund will be disbursed. So in this way, you will get the support from the incubation centers, or whenever you're talking about the other government grants, because nobody will provide the whole grant altogether. 25 lakh or 50 lakh, you will not get altogether. You will get in few steps. You have to show that whether given particular funding and given within the timeline, how you are utilizing the fund. So that's a very, very vital role. So cost, time, impact, and what are the scenarios? These are the problem solution canvas that we have to figure out that now, that whenever you are coming at something, some kind of the product or something related to that, what are the solutions you are providing in terms of the societal aspect? So that scenario should be highlighted here. Okay, the solution canvas. The problem canvas, you have highlighted the problem. Solution canvas, you are highlighting the solutions. Now, once those things have been done in the final stage, this finding plot is going to give you the clear picture. Okay, so this is the cost, this is the time frame. Okay, I have utilized my fund in this way, and what are the solutions which you have provided. Okay, so how you have achieved the target, that will be highlighted in your finding plot. So that is only possible when your philosophy is clear. That is the thing I am saying, that philosophy plays a very, very vital role. Thought process plays a very, very vital role in any kind of the journey. Okay, and especially in the entrepreneurial journey, where your mind setup should be very much strong. Okay, because you see, it's not an easy path. So that's the reason you have to be very, very careful enough that your finding plots just within cost and given time, how you are utilizing the fund, and how you are basically coming up with the product which having the mass level solutions. So these things you have to be very, very careful enough right from the beginning. Okay. Now, these will be definitely the milestones. If you see the map of users, resource requirement, dependence, risk, and workaround steps, decision points. So these are in a nutshell, these are the main key points which you have to be very, very careful enough. Then this particular slide is very, very important. So nothing to worry about it. I will email the slide to the organizers. So help me a question. These 9 meaningful questions, which are very, very important. So like in science, we worship Einstein. In technology domain, people worship Helmer. Okay, so these 9 pertinent questions he has highlighted, which are the if you can answer those questions, that means you are clear about your journey. Okay, you are clear about what you want to do. So basically, what are you trying to do, and articulate objectives without using jargon. So once you can explain the entire process without using jargon, that means you have understood the nitty-gritty of that particular area. Then finally, obviously, the second point, that is how it is done today and what are the limitations of current practice. Once that practice has the limitations, that would be the resource of your solution. Okay, that only then you can think about providing some sort of solutions. Otherwise, if everything is okay, then there is no scope of the improvement, right? Then what's new in your approach, and why do you think that it will be successful? Okay. Who cares? Like all those points, you remember that we have discussed during our resource map, problem canvas, solution canvas, and the finding plots. We have addressed all those points. Then if you are successful, what difference will it make? What are the risks and payoffs? Okay, how much will it cost? Because you see, in the developing countries, being the part of the developing countries, we have, if you are think about the planning of something which have the mass level benefit purpose, then definitely the cost should be something which can be affordable by the common people. How long will it take? What are the midterm and the final exam to check for success? Like in app development, I highlighted that if you are planning of something, launching the app in case of the healthcare domain, the core medical board will first review it. Once they are providing approval, then some external people will be onboarded. Okay, they will check it during the beta testing phase, and finally it will be launched. So it will vary, the domain wise it will vary, but there will be always some exams, midterm or final exam, to check for those success of or validation of your product. So Helmer, one of his prime inventions we often use in our daily life, that is liquid crystal display, okay, LCD. Okay, that has been invented by Helmer and his team. So anyway, so these are the 9 questions, pertinent question, and this is a very, very vital slide on that particular angle. And now if you see the blank canvas, so if you see that problem, solutions, key metrics, unique value proposition, unfair advantage, channel, customer segment, okay, cost structure, revenue stream, this all plays a very, very vital role there. Okay, so one of those angles we are going to discuss very soon. Others we have already covered. So this is basically our app which we have developed for this smartphone-based cancer detection purpose. Okay. Now, a few of the things, impact on BOP level, just I want to highlight. For example, with the help of our product, you can plan off in your case as well. Now you see in India, there are more than 96% people in the bottom of pyramid category before pandemic, and after pandemic, it is nearby 99%. A lot of people lost their job. So that means this percentage of the people do not have enough money to pay tax. Now we have to, it is whatever may be our profession. We can be doctors, we can be engineers, we can be from some other profession. Okay, it is our responsibility for being the citizen that if we, whatever little knowledge we have, if we can come up with something solution which can make the technology blessings to our human body, what can be better than that? If we can come up with some solutions which can be used by the mass level people, what can be better than that, right? So because try to understand that this percentage of the people having under the bottom of pyramid category. So try to understand that if they have the diseases like cancer or something which are life-threatening disease, then how much miserable will be their life to bear those expensive treatments. So that's the reason I am saying that all of us have some intrinsic capability of doing something innovative. So please put your efforts such that technology can become the blessings of human society. So if you see that impact on the BOP level, this is one of the important slides. So if you are thinking of to make something which can create the mass level impact, so please highlight those impacts on the BOP level. Prepare that kind of the slides when you are pitching in front of the investors. So for example, first solution, pain-free, early stage cancer diagnosis and low-cost portable device, generating report in few minutes, where perhaps it takes several times. Okay, several days time. In second solution, third solution, automatic solution and highly efficient. Then go to the next slide. That is also very, very important. There's a unique selling proposition. Okay, so whenever you are pitching for your product, make sure that you make this kind of the slides, okay, in that kind of format. So this is just a guidance for you guys. So replacing painful and cost-effective biopsy, okay, 100 times cheaper than biopsy and accuracy greater than 95%. Portable and lightweight, 80 times faster than biopsy. So in this way, you just highlight that what are the unique selling propositions. Okay, this is a very, very vital slide for the youngsters who are planning their entrepreneurial journey. Okay, then definitely the business model. Okay, so for example, SaaS model, software as a service. So rupees 110 to 100 per scan. Okay, so till it is 1,000 times cheaper than biopsy. Or you can sell the device once at a time to hospital as well. So these are the things now, what will be your growth strategies? In our case, we have highlighted like the ongoing clinical trials in hospitals, so you can do the 50-50 revenue sharing with doctors. In your case, you may highlight the similar kind of analogy. And this particular slide is very, very important in terms of the competitive landscape of our innovation, that there are other market players. Okay, how you are providing the optimum solution. Like in our case, we have highlighted few key features like low cost, accuracy, smart device, data-driven and cloud-based. We are providing all the features. Where others are not. So in your case, you have to show that, okay, that why people will go for your product, okay, and how you are going to sustain in the market with respect to your competitors. So whenever you are making your innovation journey, make sure that you are arranging your overall documentation in this way. So it will be easier for the mentors to guide you, and it will be easier for the investors to having confidence on you as well. So now you see, these are just few of the media reports which has been highlighted as a part of our research success, like for example, the early diagnosis of the retinal disease detection, or whenever we are talking about the early diagnosis of the cancer detection. Also, our research on the cancer has been included in the syllabus of the IBPS banking IIS UPSC exam. Okay, and also we are the first runner-up in the NASA MIT hackathon in 2017. And also I got the already mentioned in the, because of this kind of the innovative solutions, providing innovative solutions for the early diagnosis of cancer in the Embassy of the Switzerland, Holy Licenses. So now these are my social media handle where you can connect with me if you require any guide related to during your entrepreneurial journey. Apart from the entrepreneurial journey, if you require any guidance related to data science, machine learning, deep learning, IoT, you can always feel free to contact me. Okay, my contact is there with Mr. Ravi Ranjan sir. Also have my contact, and also your honorable HOD Anil Bikas Choudhury sir, very humble person, down to earth person. He also has my contact details. I think also in the audience, Nandan Das is there. Just I want to highlight that he is one of the great scientists. Actually, I came to the entrepreneurship. He remained in the science doing the groundbreaking research in Europe nowadays. So he is also my my research partners in the whatever the research I have highlighted here. So we have started with research, then we came to entrepreneurship by developing the product from there. In your case, you can plan out nowadays. A lot of supports has been provided by the colleges. You can take those supports and you can make your own journey. Okay, so it's life is yours. Make your own plans. We are only playing the role of catalyst. Okay, we can provide you some suggestions. Okay, and provide you some guidances, but make sure that those who are going to get the success, those who are basically the self-motivating person, because God help those who help themselves. Okay, so make sure that you are helping yourselves. And at the end, before I wrap up, just one question I want to ask you, all of you. Okay, this is a very funny question. Nothing, there is no science and technology behind that. Okay, then I will take the question from all the respected audiences who have asked me the question. So, what is the difference between a film director and a computer vision scientist? This is a very funny question. Okay, no science or technology behind that. This is just for fun. What is the difference between a film director and a computer vision scientist? Anybody from the audience, if you want to answer, try it out. Please try it out. Okay, so let me tell it, because already it is 8 p.m. So film director says light, camera, action, right? All of us know. And a computer vision scientist say light, camera, pixel. Okay, so that's the difference. Just a funny side of it. Anyway, so please feel free to ask me the question, whatever the question you have. If I know, I will definitely answer it.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam. Kindly go ahead.
Thank you so much for giving us such a kind words of yours. You have taught so many things to us, and this are going to really help all of us in our future so much. I would like to ask everyone that if you have any question, please provide it in the chat box. Sir will be answering it very soon. Am I audible to everyone? Hello? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, madam, you are audible. You are completely audible.
Yes, everyone, please have your questions. And so I would like to say, I would like to ask you about what do you like? This Techno-India University is so much into entrepreneurship. Like they focus too much on entrepreneurship, and even our directors and or the Mr. Roy Choudhury, he is also, and her wife also, she's into the sustainability development. And so we are very lucky to get them. And they are focusing on us, they're having us like the subject. So I want to ask you, like, how to like start exactly, like many people are there, those who doesn't have this finance or sponsorship. That is the main thing. They have the idea, but they doesn't get this sponsorship. So what to do then?
Okay, so one way I just want to highlight that nowadays you see that there are a lot of government schemes and grant policies are there. First of all, you have to figure out that in which domain you are contributing. Okay, then you have to check that what are the supports you are going to get from your incubation center. Okay, so whether that domain experts are there or not, that also plays a very, very vital role, because you see you require the mentorship, whether it is technological angle or whether it is go-to-market strategy angle, you require mentorship. Okay, so first of all, figure out that what are the resources you will have. Okay, that from your vicinity you can get, and then obviously make sure that the more you will go by the software-based approach, the lesser will be your overall development cost. Okay, because you see that the more you are going with the hardware-based approach, the more will be the cost will be much more higher. Because let me tell you one particular theme which has been launched by MIT in 2012. The softwares are the new hardwares. Okay, and in 2017, the theme has been adopted by Infosys. They just made the plural to singular, that software is the new hardware. So basically, they want to imply that, because you see, like I was mentioning about the BOP level of our developing countries. So a lot of people under the BOP level in our developing countries. So we don't have enough money to pay tax, most of the people in the developing country angle. So you, in that particular angle, whenever we are talking about, we have to think about the software-based approach. Because you see, from 1990s, the software-based approach era has started. You see all the Pythonic platform. Now, for example, we are often talk about the cloud-based solution. Okay, nowadays, if we went from the cloud kitchen to crop prediction-based app or weather cancer detection app, we often talk about this kind of the cloud-based approach, right? So how can you do the cloud communicator? Nowadays, this is the computer application department who are organizing it. All of you know that the cloud communicator languages are the Java, Python, and these all are the open source languages. So take the benefit of the open source language. Okay, in the product development purpose, if you see, if you are following the AI-based approach, if you talk about all the Pythonic platforms, okay, like the Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch, all these are the highly Pythonic platform. Okay, so if you know Python, you can apply them. You can run your code on Colab without paying a cost. You can request Google for getting the Google Cloud support. Okay, so they will provide you some credit where you can approach. You can apply your algorithms and you can make the processing of your large extent of data. You can get the required data sets from the Kaggle, GitHub. There are many resources out there. So right from the agriculture to banking system to medical domain, everywhere the data is available. You can download data, make some believable prototype. Then if you approach to your domain, approach to the domain influencers, they are going to definitely help you. Like I told that, first of all, for example, in healthcare domain, you are making something. So first of all, you have to develop something which the doctors can trust on. Okay, then only they will allow you to make some trial on their hospitals. So that's the reason that in every sector, for example, in agricultural domain, if you're planning something, so a lot of government grants, funds are available there. So make sure that the most of the things nowadays world, it will be quite wise for you to make software kind of approach. The more you will involve the software, the overall hardware, overall the cost will be reduced. So for example, you see earlier days, people generally used to use for example, this optical fiber probe to collect the tissue samples of the cancer. Nowadays, with the mobile phone camera, you can also do that. So mobile phone camera is replacing the optical fiber probes. Okay, whenever we are going out of our house, okay, earlier days, it was mandatory to carry wallets. Nowadays, your PhonePe, Paytm app can do the job. So are you getting my point? So what is happening? It's not about ignoring the hardware. There is no clash between hardware and software. What I'm saying that this is a tricky way in your initial days of your startup journey, that if you start relying on the softwares, then overall product development cost will be reduced a lot because of the open source era. Because in the last 30 years, thanks to the Linux Community Foundation and those great scientists, computer scientists, those who have contributed a lot to develop the programming languages like Python, R softwares, okay, Weka, they contributed a lot. And nowadays you see the benefit. Okay, whenever you see new hackathons are coming up, all the youngsters are winning it from the remote colleges, remote universities. Earlier it was not possible. But how they are winning it? Because they are getting those blessings of this open source era. Okay, so we have to relying on the software-based approach more. That's what I want to say. Okay, there is no clash between hardware and software. You can do that nowadays. Also take the facilities of the IoT, Internet of Things based approach. For example, you can easily make your own IoT-based lab with a paying very lesser amount of money, and you can develop your product as well. Also, along with these open source softwares, IoT also played a very, very vital role in terms of developing the low-cost based approach. Because you see, what I am saying that at the end of the day, we are all belonging to a society, we have some responsibilities. So it is our duty to come up with something such that mass level people can use it. Okay, people from those people who are belong to the bottom of pyramid category, if they can get that kind of the benefit, then what can be better than that? Let us make the technology blessings to our society, not the curse, right? So let us take a vow that all the youngsters who are belonging to Techno India University, I know, right from the Meghdud Rai Chaudhary to Ravi Ranjan, everybody is doing their hard job. They like to make this university better, and they are nurturing this entrepreneurship culture very well. Also, the able guidances of our Honorable Anil Bikas Chaudhary sir is also there. Everybody is doing their hard job to make this entrepreneurial journey successful. And we can see that there is another program has been launched to nurture the entrepreneurial culture, MBA in entrepreneurship, innovation, and venture development. So this type of programs are there. So you can talk with the domain experts, take the help of the incubation centers, but make one thing in mind, like I told you, that resource mapping, problem canvas, solution canvas, and finding plots. Follow these paths. You are going to definitely get the success in your entrepreneurial journey. But determination should be there, basic background research should be there, and try to follow the software approach. Don't forget, the motto has been launched by MIT for all the innovators belonging to the developing country, that softwares are the new hardwares. That's the reason they told about it.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this reply. And it was really, I'm so much grateful to you. Like, it will be helping me so much.
Most welcome. Thank you.
And we have another question from Shomadip Dey, a student of our batch. He's asking that there are many entrepreneurs, how to build a startup on preliminary level.
Okay, so like I told you, that first of all, whenever you are getting some idea, make sure that you form a team. Okay, so you will have some co-founders, or make a good team. Now, how will you form the team? Take a note of it. Those who are the youngsters and hearing this term for the first time, please take a note of the term. That is the skills matrix matching. Skills matrix matching. Okay, for example, you are very strong for example, I'm saying you're very strong in Android app development. Okay, now it may happen that you're one of the team members is very strong in AI. There may be another team member is very strong in marketing. Now, once these three people are coming together, whatever the challenges we will give to you at least, if you are, even if you are not getting success, you can make some progress in the positive direction. Okay, rather than always try to form the team with the skill setups by doing the skill matrix matching, rather than with having the same setup of skills. Okay, so in that way you can make the progress. So team formation plays a very, very vital role in especially in this kind of the startup based approach. Okay, so that's the reason, follow the skills matrix matching across the world. All the top companies, like from the Walmart, Google, everybody works in a skill matrix matching based approach. All the top institutes, MIT, Harvard, Stanford, they also forms the skill team on the basis of the skills matrix matching based approach. So skills matrix matching plays a very, very vital role in the team formation of this startup. Okay, then once your skills are within your team, you don't have to outsource it. Okay, so make a reliable prototype. Then go to your incubation centers. There are people like Ravi Ranjan, okay, whom you can trust blindly. Just go there, discuss with them. They are going to guide you. Okay, and whatever that if any technological development required, you can take help from mentorship support from your professors. Okay, there are quite great professors are there in your university. They are also there to guide you. Okay, and any help required, if you any other help required, you can also approach me as well. I am also associated with Techno India University recently as a visiting faculty in the management department. So you can approach me as well. So we people are there to guide you. Okay, but make a proper team. And remember the terminology. All the youngsters, those who are there, please remember the terminology, skills matrix matching. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope, Shomadip, you have got your answer. And there's one more question by Akashdeep Chanda. He's asking that how can we earn the trust of the financial for our startup?
Like I told you, that if you can show some workable prototype, everybody going to trust you. See, people know, those who are the financiers, they are quite veteran, they are quite wise. Okay, so they know that which type of the innovations are going to get this success in the market. Okay, so once we have the workable prototype, they see the confidence of the team, they are definitely going to fund you. So nothing to worry about it. First, follow the skills matrix matching, and then from the team. Once the likely minded people will be in the same team, you guys are going to create the miracle. Okay, trust me, you are going to create the miracle. All of you have the great potential. Okay, so have trust on yourself and go ahead. Okay, don't worry.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope so, Akashdeep, you have got your answer from sir. Anybody else have any other questions? Please put it forward. I think so. People are done with their questions. You have said it so nicely that they doesn't have questions right now. And you are obviously, you're there as a visiting faculty. Anytime anyone can go and ask you.
Sure. Anytime. Any student facing any difficulty, feel free to ask me. Or Honorable Anil Bikas Chaudhary sir has my contact details. Ravi Ranjan has my contact details. You can also collect it from the Somadip Das sir. So anytime, if you feel any help required from me, please feel free to approach me. No, nothing to worry about it. Okay. Just have the self-belief, self-confidence is the main thing. Make a proper team. All of you will get the success. Have faith on your capability. Be confident, but don't be overconfident. Okay. Be confident. Okay. You definitely will get the success. All of you will get the success. Nothing to worry about it.
So we have another question from
Sure.
Tithiparna Sen. She's asking, while being an entrepreneur, there are certain challenges we will be facing to build our innovation. How to overcome those challenges?
So first of all, you have to see that what are the resources you are lacking. Okay, and if you are thinking about the product development angle, so like I told you that the more you will go with the software-based approach, the challenges will be lesser. Okay, because many things you will get from the open source material. But in case if your product is relying on some sort of the hardware, there may be some challenges you may face that in every institute you can't expect that every time of the facilities will be there. So in those cases, you can collaborate with some other institute where those kind of the facilities are there. Okay, so first of all, you have to figure out that what are the challenges. That's the reason if you see my slides where I've highlighted that you have to figure out that what are the in-house resources you can get and what are the outsourcing you have to depend upon. So if you can address those challenges and if you can deal with those things smartly, definitely you'll be able to get the success. So always be collaborative mindset. Okay, so a lot of collaborations are happening. And you have to be in that kind. You have to grab that kind of the collaboration in case you are facing some challenges. It may happen that it is not possible everything to get from your own team or from your own institute. So in some cases, you have to be smart enough to collaborate and then resolve those challenges.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope so, Tithiparna, you have got your answer from
and
sir.
Obviously, we are there definitely to guide you, to help you in collaboration as well. Nothing to worry about it. But first of all, figure out that what are the help you require. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. You have just said so nicely to everyone. Like, people are just writing, thank you, sir, for your advice, and they're so much happy with like you're being our faculty. It's like a great thing for all of us. So I would like, sir, if you like, this would be like, oh, again, see, this like the chat box is full with thank you, sir, and thank you, sir. You can just check it.
All of you are most welcome. All of you are most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. We are so much blessed to have you right now. So after this, I would like to say, everyone, please do not leave. I think, sir, are you done with your work? Then I will be moving forward to my things.
Sure. Kindly go ahead.
So I think everyone, please do not leave the meeting right now. We will be giving you a feedback form and you have to fill up the feedback form and your certificates will be issued based on that. So please do not leave and fill up that form. And now I would like to call upon, like, to give over the mic to our Honorable HOD, Sir, Mr. Anil Bikas Chaudhary, sir. Sir, please, are you here, I think?
Hello.
To say some words and give the vote of thanks.
Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. First of all, I will thank the organizers for organizing this nice gathering of webinar. Now, the next thing is what I will thank Professor Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay for being here, for delivering his valuable speech with a very nice and simplified presentation, which have, I think, encouraged at least some of our students, or maybe most of them, all of them. I hope that. Well, students, we have our plan for this type of innovative ideas. Actually, we have started entrepreneurship skill development program from the very starting of our university, and it is inbuilt in our course. In every semester, every student is required to submit a report regarding that, what he or she has thought about some entrepreneurship development plan and how he or she is going to implement it. In the odd semester, they are to show the presentation, and in the even semester, they are to implement the idea. So the students, most often we see that most of the students have made it just a formal writing of just presentations to give some software ideas, etc. They do not think over the implementation of that in reality. So if you are really interested and if you are really encouraged with the speech and the valuable knowledge given by Professor Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay, I think this is the time is now. You start up right now with your ideas. Your ESD presentations should be based on that. You give me your innovative ideas and don't think about the financiers. I will give you the financiers. I am promising here. It is on record. I will give you the financiers if your ideas are found to be innovative, and we shall also take the patents of that idea, and for the incubation also we can go for that. Okay, so I thank everybody to join this session and hope that you will be taking a lot of ideas from this session, and you will be implement those ideas. You will be materializing those ideas in your real life, not just just words of thanks will suffice. Okay, so thank you everybody. Thanks to Sagata Das also for conducting this webinar in a very nice way, and all others who have acted properly, who have acted nicely to make it a success. Thank you everybody.
Thank you so much, sir, to join us and for your kind words. I would like everyone to please go through the chat box. Shomadip sir has sent you a link out there. Please fill up the form and your certificates will be provided accordingly. Thank you so much, Sabyasachi sir. Thank you so much, Anil Vikas sir. Thank you so much to Shomadip sir, Gopal Purakait sir. You guys have been great, and thank you so much for being with us, for mentoring us. We are going through in a very we are very young at this age, and we need the correct mentorship to go ahead in our life for a successful life. I think like that. And I think so everybody is agreeing to me that we have got great teachers, great minds to encourage us, to mentor us throughout our college journey. So I'm just giving everyone some time. If you have, if you just take the time and fill up the form, and then we will be ending our meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the kind invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So I'm waiting for another max 5 minutes. Okay, then I will end. Maybe some of them are still filling the form because the chat box will disappear. And I'm very thankful, Suswadaga, to make your time and make it happen Like we had been talking through this a very long time from the past week. So it's very kind
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. I'm very honored that you have chose me to conduct this session. And I'm thank you so much to all the faculty members. They have given me such a good respect throughout this
If
session.
everyone those who have attended have done with the filling of the Google form, then we can close the session.
Yes, sir, definitely. I would like everyone to please go through and do not miss. If you miss this feedback form, your certificates will not be provided. So please go on and fill up the form that has been given by Somadip sir. The link is provided. Please go on.
Okay, so it's done. So we will take a leave. Thanks for the evening, and it's time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.